in this part, we do some more checks, some cleanup, and some repairs. Ouch! Here's I think the original output tube, 6F6G Philco glass. So I'll clean that up. We'll check that, make sure that's good. There looks like another original Philco, a 6K7, just pulled out. I thought this was kind of odd, but I've seen other videos and other pictures of people and their, you know, the tube shield goes around that. I don't know what. I don't know if they've, I don't know what's happened to this, but I've seen other pictures like this, very similar. I don't know if, I'm sure it's not a factory thing, but it, they took some pliers and I guess so that they get a good shield on that tube. But that's odd. Look, another one. While I'm here, let's go ahead and pull this one off too. If I can get it off. See if they butchered that one. Now see, look at that one. That one looks okay. Oh, I know exactly what they did. I believe since they're small like this, they had to cut them open if they changed the tubes out. Even though I believe this is a Philco also. And it's a Philco tube, but they may not be the original tubes and the different size bases. That's the only thing I can figure, because look, notice how small the base is. And I'll try this tube in that base. Huh. Struck out, because it'll fit the base. I just don't understand why these have been butchered like that. Anybody got any ideas? Let me know. Okay, I've removed all the tubes, cleaned those up, got those put away, and tested. They all tested really good. Done a little bit more wiping down, and so to get more room to do all this, I'm going to have to remove this capacitor, probably try to restuff this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do over here. I don't have a can to replace that. So as you can look down in here, here's the supports, or the shock absorbers, or grommets, or whatever, and they're hard as a rock. So they're going to have to be replaced. I've ordered those from Renovated Radios, and they've already shipped. They shipped within, well, they probably ship in label had been made, but it's already been shipped within the hour of me ordering it. So I'm going to remove the tuning condenser, because we're going to have to replace these anyway, and it'll give me more room to clean that up. One of the things is this. This is in really great shape here, the dial, so don't want to break that messing with it or anything like that. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to wheel this around here. The only thing that holds it on is a little spring clip here, and I'm thinking that I may be able to take a screwdriver, put it under that real gentle, hold it in place, and maybe not. Oh, okay. Look at this. All I'm doing is putting 2 fingers on it and pushing it up, and then it's coming off. And hopefully it'll just pop off like that. Ah, nice. Now, let's put this in some sort of a wheel of some sort. Looks like it may be cracked here. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's some sort of phenolic like wheel. It's got some cracks in it, so maybe I can put some general purpose cement at least on the back of it. We may have to sand this off, but let me put this up in a safe place so I don't destroy it. Alright, I glued this together with some general purpose glue. I'm probably hit that with some sandpaper to smooth it back out. I'm going to take this, it's not really a shadow meter, but it's the indicator. All it is a split in some plastic that the light behind here, maybe you can see it. It's just a light that shines through it, and so there's 4 screws, 2 at the bottom here, and then some up in here. I want to be careful with this. I'd hate to have to reconstruct that, but you know, it can be done. It has been done. You just don't want to tear up more than you fix sometimes, you know. It's a negative gain there. Anyway, just some small with star washers on it, and this should just lift off like this. There's a star washer. Ooh, stuck. There we go. I got it. We'll save those. We'll probably put those back in there. And let's see. This light. It just pulls off like this. And that's the ground there. So all this is off now. And we can clean that up. And try to make sure we don't damage that in any way. But it's a little bit easier, and then we'll disconnect these wires and take this off, and then we'll have a clear plate to clean up there. Let's do some continuity checks. The primary looks like it's around 5 ohms or so. So let's just go across the AC line here like that, and we've got 6K, infinity. I suspect that switch is open. Let's go across. Let's bypass the switch here, right there. And we've got right at 6 ohms or so. So I think, excuse me, I think the primary is okay. Now, let's take a look at our rectifier tube here. Pin 3 and 5 are plates. So that will be 120 and 130. So that would be, what, 250? Does that sound right? Total or something like that. So let's go across here and here. And we've got about almost 400. All right, let's go to the center tap, which is right along in here. And so that's about 204. And then we'll go here, and that's about 192. So that's about right. Let's go to the 5 volt winding. Here it says it's less than 0.1. We'll see. So that's these 2 pins, and we've got like it's creeping on down, 0.3. So I think that's pretty good. So let's go on up here to the output tube, and that'll be pin 2. That's 1, 2, and 7. And so That's like 0.6, and that says it should be less than 0.1, so I think it's not open anyway, so I think the power transformer's good. Okay, I just finished up doing some more continuity checks. I checked the antenna coils. There's two sets of them based upon the two bands. The oscillator coils, checked those. Those are all good, or they show continuity and they are close to what is being listed. Check the first IF. It seems to be in line with exactly what it's supposed to. Had problems with the second IF here. If you'll see what happened when I went to check, I checked the primary, it was good. Then I went to get to the secondary, and then there was this 51K resistor. I could not locate it underneath the cabinet. Fortunately, this one has a lot of the location codes, and it's really, really close too. So the number 20 resistor, which was here, didn't show up. So I pulled the can off of the second IF, and the 51K resistor is located in the top of the can. And so I checked the continuity of that coil, and it was right around 9 ohms, and it says 7.5, so I believe it's good. Okay, the bulb ohmed out okay, so it's a number 47. I have plenty of those if it's not, but I think we can repair this. Cleaned out the I just clipped the wire, and this is the little end inside the light socket, which the wire is just soldered to. This is the material that came out of it. And if you look down in there, it's all corroded. Not corroded, but that tar-like material is in there, and I believe there's supposed to be a spring there. There is a spring, and I can mash it there, but that I need to get all that mess out and clean that out so that that spring will work with that bulb. Let's see what we can do. Okay, this wire's in good shape, so I just clipped off the that tar and everything like that. I put a piece of heat shrink on the back. We'll apply that later. I clean this out, got the spring out, so we're going to put that spring back in there, which it'll go, you can put it in after we can do this solder job, but just so I don't forget it. So anyway, I took and desoldered that out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can't keep it on camera, one thing. There we go. I don't know if you can see that because of that background. We'll move that a little bit. Okay, and I'll put that on there. Eesh. Yeah, drop that and the floor monster will get that one for sure. So anyway, I'm going to try to solder that without messing everything up. Get things moving a little bit. Some of that tar is still boiling out of there. I thought I had it all cleaned out, but apparently not. That looks pretty good. Let me clean this up, see what it looks like. Took a piece of Scotch-Brite clean that up. I think that looks pretty good. So pretty much that'll go back down in the very back of it. Going to plan B now. After I got that together, I realized when I pulled it, this just went right out the back. Apparently that sleeve or whatever that material was kept that from going through the very end of it, and it deteriorated and was just a blob in there. So what I did is, I think we can make this work. I took a grommet, cut the end of it off, and I will pull it up here and glue it when determine the distance I need after I solder this. Got the spring on, got some heat shrink towards the back. That'll also help keep that in place also. So let's see if we can solder that again. But I tried to clean it up a little bit better too. So. I like to have a little round blob on the end for that end of that bulb to sit on. All right, let's clean that up. All right, B.1. I took that small grommet. I got it Harbor Freight. I got a whole box of them, and I cut the end of it off, and it fit right on there. I took the heat shrink, put it on there. I may put a dab of glue here, just for grins and giggles. Of course, here's the spring, and it goes back down into there, and then put that in there. And I took and put the ohm meter on it, and it shows a little over 5 ohms, so I think we're good there. I think that's going to work just fine. What do you think? Okay, I hit this a lick or two with a little bit of paint. It'll probably get scuffed up. Did a little shining on the chassis, just to make it look halfway decent. It's in pretty good shape. There's not much rust or anything like that. I left a little bit of my polish on there. Anyway, so I want to go after this capacitor and rebuild it, and also probably rebuild this can capacitor. Since it's cardboard, should be pretty easy to get out. Well, I say that now, but then again, it may not be. So just going to take that out and put a couple of safety caps, if you'll look. This is where it's at right there. That number 47 is that capacitor, and if you'll see, it's from the lines to the ground. So we'll use some Y safety caps. I think I have some, and we'll just tear that apart. You've seen me do those before. Not a big deal. Okay, I put the safety caps in. Of course, all of them's common to the ground here, which is this terminal here, and then one to each one of those. Now, I haven't soldered these yet, which I will. I hope I don't forget it. But while I was there, I took this and got the tar out of this, but I also took it to the shop and put some lacquer thinner it to get all the residue out. And so while I was there, while I was outside, I went ahead and took some deoxit and sprayed the band switch, and also sprayed the on-off switch, which I've got it hooked up here. And as you can see, seems to work pretty good now. So let's solder this, get that put back in, and work on that other capacitor. Okay, what I did is I drilled out the top and the bottom and took the wires out, and then I took the label on this says it's an 8 microfarad, so I took a 10, connected the wires to it, pushed it down in here. I will take and I will put some glue down in there to secure that. Then what I'll do is I'll mix some more glue up and put this, and then turn it upside down on some wax paper, and hopefully can fill that in and it won't be very noticeable. Let's see what we can come up with. Okay, I put a little epoxy in the top of it, mixed some of the powder that I drilled out of it with it. I may hit that with a little bit of sandpaper, but there's the capacitor. I don't think it looks too bad. What do you think? After all that pretty work, I realized this is number 45. This is a replacement someone has put in there. And number 45 is a 25 microfarad. And someone had put an 8 in here. And I replaced it with a 10. So now I have got a wrong capacitor in that. So after making that pretty and all that, it's got to come back out. Okay, I drilled that all out, put a 33 microfarad capacitor in there to replace what should have been a 25 microfarad. This is not I'm looking at some other pictures. There was 2 metal cans that were originally here, so this was a replacement, and so we'll just leave it like that. But this is restuffed, and so we're ready to go. We're going to recap this, and what I like to do is I'll take my schematic and I'll locate the resistors on here, and if they need to be replaced, I generally try to highlight them in pink, and if they're green, if I highlight them in green, then they're in tolerance and I'll leave them alone. So that's just the way I go about it. Some people, we talk about tolerances, some people like to keep them within 5 to 10 percent. During this time period, most of them were like 20%. Okay, so even if you bought this off the shelf and brought it in here, some of these resistors could be 15% out of tolerance. So, you know, don't know. I mean, we've got access to 5 and 10% resistors. There's no need, you know, we can change them out, but you know, you get into this, you can argue that, well, the thing's 80 something years old, it's going to fail. Well, that's true, but I like to try to keep them as original as possible. I don't see the point in just changing them out if they're, you know, still within 10% or so. We're going to end the video here. It's about a little over 20 minutes or so, and that's about where I like to keep them. So in the next part, we'll go ahead and recap this, and then we will put it all back together and try it and see if it's going to work. So I appreciate it. Hey, I've picked up about 7 or 8 more subscribers this week, and it's all because of you guys clicking like or subscribe or sharing the video with somebody, and I appreciate that. So write something in the comments. I'll be happy I always love to read my comments, and I'll try my best to answer them. So, from Larry, from the hills of Tennessee, thanks for watching.